What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of In the Shop TV. If you guys missed part one of this parallel 4-link series, make sure you go back and check it out. But here's a quick summary anyway. Got our link bar brackets installed. We had to do some custom modifications there, drill some holes and put some brackets on the inside to short things up. We installed our link bars. And we started getting our axle brackets ready to get installed, but we had to open these up because our axle tube is from a Ford 8.8. Standard axles are about 3 inches, and the 8.8 is 3 1/4. So we had to open these up just a little bit to make the Ford 8.8 fit. We move on to the next part, which is arguably my most hated subject in school, which is the math part of things. What we had to figure out is the length of these bars and where the axle falls in relation to the frame so that everything centers up within our wheel well properly. So in order to do that, what I did is I had to find center wheelbase first. I did that by coming over here to the first bracket and measuring my 2 holes, which if you look at the old spring bracket, the center spring mount for it is right dead center in the middle of these 2 mounting bolts. So I measured the distance between these 2, transferred a mark here, that's dead center between these 2 top bolts. Then I came to the rear spring perch and did the same exact thing using these 2 rivets, found center and marked it on the frame. Then, if you split the difference, and that's exactly 25.5 inches from there to there, which is 51. So as I'm going through the kit and I started setting up the link bars, that's where we ran into a problem. So the link bars that come with this kit are 15.5 inches. Now, when I set everything up from the front axle bracket to the rear axle bracket, it doesn't get me close to center wheelbase. And if I get even close to it, I have to kind of turn those bars so that they're adjusted almost all the way out, and I have barely any thread engagement with those link ends, which I'm not too comfortable with. I didn't know what was going on here. I said, this is way too short. I did my math over and over and over again, and it just doesn't line up with center wheelbase. It's about 2 inches too short. Perplexed, I went on the Facebook groups. I asked a bunch of guys to show me pictures of theirs, which they did. Some of these guys were totally gracious and accommodated me in that respect. It turns out that my math is correct. These bars are supposed to be 17.5 inches, not 15.5. So what do? So I called Clay at Full Tilt Street Rochester, where this kid is from. Super nice guy, really easy to work with, knows his stuff. And I said, Clay, did you by accident maybe send me link bars for a 53 to 56 Ford or the earlier Chevy trucks? Because these are 15.5 inches. He goes, well, you have 55 to 59 Chevy, correct? And I said, yes. He goes, no, those are the exact length bars that you need. Now, this is where things got really, really weird. This guy builds these kits. He builds these trucks all the time. He's like, a matter of fact, I just got finished building one the other day. He knows his stuff. How could this be wrong? So I'm thinking that, it's got to be me. I messed up somewhere, somehow, and my math is wrong. So I measured again. I checked back with these guys on Facebook again. I got kind of to the point where they're probably sick of hearing from me because it just sounds so obnoxious. But their measurements are coming out. Their bars are 17.5 inches. I'm telling Clay that there's people that are on Facebook that have your kit that have 17.5 inch bars for this truck. How could it be 15.5 what you're selling, what you sold other people 17.5? And I'm measuring what I need as 17.5. He's like, I don't know, that's really weird. He goes, but I'm happy to make them for you. It's no problem. I said, well, I'll pay you for it. If you're saying this is the right kit, I don't mind. He's like, no, don't worry about it. I just want to make you happy. If you want 17.5 inch bars, I'll send you 17.5 inch bars, which he did. So I set up the 17.5 inch bars, and when I put this up to ride height, we are right where we need to be. Dead center wheelbase. So my math is correct. The other guys that have 17.5 inch tubes, their math is correct. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm really perplexed by this. So to further complicate things, if you watch the installation video for this particular kit, he tells you in the video that you want to set up your bars from end to end at 19.25 inches as a starting point and go from there, but that gets you pretty close. So I have this right now adjusted out to where it's perfect. Both top and bottom. The bottom one is in a little bit. The top one's out just a little bit more, as it's supposed to be. We're dead center here where we need to be in relation to our wheel well. We're straight up and down where our coilover mounts are. Everything is just perfect and set. So I went ahead and marked down our measurements. And for the top, we're at 19 3/8, and the bottom is 19 even. Now, he tells you in the video that 19.25 is the starting point from end to end, but he doesn't elaborate. Does that mean from link end to link end? Is that the distance he's going by, or from the end of the jam nut, or what? There's not really any clarity. So just going on my own measurements again, I took the measurements from link end to link end, and that comes out to 19 3/8. And then from link end to link end here and there, we come out to 19 even. I don't know. Am I wrong? Is he wrong? Maybe he has the wheels a little bit forward in the wheel well. Maybe it looks cooler from a hot rod perspective, and that's why he's using 15.5-inch bars. I don't know. If you guys have dealt with full tilt before, if you have this kit, I would love to hear from you in the comments what you think. If you have any 2 cents on this, or even if you have another kit and if you want to measure or you know what the distance is for center wheelbase, please let me know. Now, I even went so far as to mock up one of the bed sides and hold it in place and just to see where everything lines up, and it looks perfect. So I'm gonna forge ahead with my measurements and the way I have everything here, and with math, because I mean the numbers just don't lie. So I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go ahead and get our second axle bracket installed that we opened up. I'm gonna put the bolt in backwards as per the instructions, because if you go this way, it will contact the frame when it moves up and down. And on this bottom bracket, you can put the bolt the other way, but why bother? Just go in the same direction. Go ahead and set the distance from link end to link end to the exact same dimensions as the other side, which is 19 3/8. We got to come out by 1/8 on the top. Let's check that. 19 3/8 on the money. Tighten down these jam nuts. And then we'll set the bottom. The same thing as the other side as well, which was 19. And these need to come in quite a bit. All right, there we are. And sure enough, we are dead center with our wheelbase. All right, so it's the next day. I just had my son in here. He helped me. We got the axle assembly off of my welding bench. We put it on the dolly and kind of rolled it into position under the truck. So I just wanted to do a quick fit and see how everything's lining up, and it looks pretty good. I had to use these kind of C-clamps to keep pushing it into the axle bracket because it wants to pop out. When you push one in, the other side wants to come out. It's all squared up and plumb. I'm setting pinion angle right now, which I'll go over in a minute how I'm going to do that. But I got to take this all apart right now because I forgot that when I extended that side of the axle, I did not clean off the rust on this side, so I'm gonna have to take that off, get it down to bare metal so I can start tacking those brackets on. So I'm just gonna try out these abrasive pads here on my little die grinder instead of using the actual sanding disc, because I don't want to remove any material. I'm just trying to get that layer of rust off and get down to some shiny metal. So that's working excellent so far, making really quick work of this. So that was nice and quick and easy for a change. I'll go ahead and line this back up. All right, so I tightened the clamps back up. I made some reference marks, which really helped out when lining this back up the second time. We're even on both sides and we're ready to tack them in, but we gotta make sure we have our pinion angle just right. Let's go over that. All right, so the first thing you wanna do is come over to a flat point on your engine. I'm gonna use this valley cover for reference. And we are at a tilt back angle of 1.7 degrees. Just changed to 1.8, but little variances like that aren't a big deal. To make sure, I'm gonna take it a couple different places. The water pump pulley here, 1.7. Okay, so we know we're in the ballpark. Another great spot to take this measurement would be on your transmission output shaft. So now we're gonna come back here. I'm gonna come right on top of here. Showing 1.3, 1.2. So in other words, we gotta come up with this angle just a tiny bit. So you gotta be real careful because on closer inspection, it looks like this platform is slightly beveled a little bit. So, I mean, the real true measurement is right there, and that's showing 3 degrees, which is way out of whack for what we need. Now, even if you take it to a couple different places, there'll be different measurements. But truthfully, the face of this flange here is really what you want to go by. Yeah, I'm getting a steady 3 degrees, no matter where I put it. Let's see if that dropped my angle down at all. So I took it out completely, and it's just the clamps holding it in place in the axle bracket right now. It's perfectly where we need it to be. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of support it underneath and hold that spot. All right, so I've got it propped up. We're reading 2 degrees on both sides. We're at 1.8 on the engine. So we're 0.2 degrees higher. Now I'm gonna leave it at that because we have to come up higher with our rear end assembly, which is gonna change our pinion angle down a hair. I know it makes sense to have exactly the same amount of angle up versus down, so you have 0 degrees on your drive shaft. Also, try to remember, we're talking about little tiny minute measurements here, tenths of a degree. With a 4-link that's adjustable, when you have link bars, you can play with that pinion angle all day long whenever you want, and then lock it in place. Don't stress it if it's like little tiny movements like that. You're 0.2 degrees off, 0.1 degree off. It's not a big deal. It's completely adjustable. You just don't want to be 2 degrees off here and 2 degrees off there. That's a big deal, but don't stress these little tiny measurements like this. What you do have to stress though is ride height. It's really important to get that right before you start tacking stuff in and getting it set permanently. So my front ride height is exactly where I want it. The frame, I've measured the frame across. I have a slight rake. We're up about a ½ inch higher in the rear. I think we're good. I measured both sides of the frame. We're square. Everything's exactly where it needs to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a few more final measurements on this. Measure 20 times and tack once, I guess, and just to make sure we're all right. And I don't want to have to start cutting welds off if I messed up. Another thing I want to go over before I start tacking anything in is we don't have our panhard bar yet installed, and the purpose of the panhard bar is because the rear end assembly, even though it can only move up and down in our frame right now, can move side to side, which obviously you don't want when you're driving. That's the purpose of the panhard bar. It kind of keeps it located in that one spot. But since we only have these 2 fulcrum points here where this axle can pivot back and forth, these bars will, even just now with me messing around with this and poking and prying, move in or out. So it's exactly 1 3/4 inches from the frame. So I've got 1.5 plus a 1/4 inch shim here. So I'm holding these out 1 3/4 from the frame at the edge on both sides so that we don't get any movement, because you don't want to tack these in and then not realizing the bars kind of canted off to the side like this, and now you're really screwed up. So I'm just putting the shims everywhere I can to hold things in place and make sure I got everything where I want it before we strike an arc. All right, so we got it all tacked in. We're not gonna fully weld it yet because I wanna take it out and put it on the bench so I can weld it properly and not to lay on the floor and army crawl and all that good stuff. So we'll take it out, but before we get to that point, I noticed something here when I installed it. Something that I knew was gonna happen. I kind of predicted it, but here it is. I just wanted to show you guys. Pause the video right here and put it in the comments. What do you think I see that needs to be done before we progress on anything else with this 4-link? Well, if you guessed notch the frame, you would be 100% correct. Our final height of our wheels and tires mounted are going to be about 26.5. So cutting the distance, cutting that in half, you're at 13.25 would be dead center axle, which we're already higher than that right here. So, and we've only got about another 2.5 inches before the axle tube contacts the frame. So technically, it would be riding completely on the frame. We'd have to notch out about 1 inch of it just to make clearance, but you really want to have a total of 2.5 inches of travel from your suspension before it contacts anything. So you've got 2 options when you notch a frame with these trucks. You can either use those prefab C-notches where it's kind of like, it keeps the geometry of the frame. You don't have to go all the way through the frame. You just kind of notch out a section of it. They look kind of like this here. Or you can use what's called a step notch, which is basically where the frame comes up higher, across, and then down again, and you're taking out the entire center section of the frame right here. That's typically reserved for air suspension or something like that. When you air the vehicle out, it totally rides down, sits on the floor. You need all that clearance. We don't need that much clearance. However, with the C-notch, where you're just kind of taking out that little piece right there, I feel like it's really kind of weakening the integrity of the frame, because now instead of having this much frame, you've got this much frame. And I don't know, it doesn't sit too well with me. I know we're not using it as a truck, and we're not gonna be throwing rock in the back of there. And it's probably fine, a lot of people do it, and I'm not ragging on it. So if you use that type of C-notch, that's fine. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a step notch and then kind of modify it and lower it. The issue with step notch is that once you install them, you kind of raise the height of the bed floor. So you lose a little bit of that space. So I'm okay with doing that, but I'm gonna see if, if we have a 6-inch step notch, and I kind of shave it down or mount it down a little bit, and I don't lose that much bed floor. I only really want, about 3 inches of suspension travel, so, that'll be good for us. So I'm not sure what's gonna come next. I'm either gonna take this axle assembly out, put it on the bench, finish welding everything in fully, rebuild the axle, put the carrier back in, put my bearings back in, new bearings. I got all new brakes and everything for this, and get it fully assembled. Or if I'm gonna do the step notch next. I guess I don't have to leave this in there because I already know where center frame is. I can go ahead and put my notches on. I don't know, we gotta see. I might wanna just mock it up with the axle in there and see what it looks like. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. What do you think I should do? You think should we build this axle first and go ahead with that? Or notch this frame? All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.